Upgrades? Yes. And Red Bull and Ferrari are catching the shivers because we are going to catch up imminently. Let us begin. Hello all, Karl here. Welcome back once again to the F1 2019 career mode. Here we are in qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix straight away, home of the world's favourite racing driver ever. Regardless, this episode features Canada and France, two tracks traditionally quite powerful for the AI, so I'm not feeling very good at all, but we absolutely yeet it over the last chicane, running up towards the line. What is the time going to be? It's going to be P3! My word! And the best last sector of the entire session. That is pretty tasty. Just the two Mercedes ahead of us. Apart from that, we are absolutely smashing the field. Let's go and get them. Right now, as a matter of fact, here we go for our last push of qualifying. First corner, use as much of the track as possible. Use a lot of that inside curve. Second turn, I like to short shift down and then just accelerate out in a straight line. I'm using default setup for this track. Seems to be paying off massive dividends so far, as we are setting the best first sector of the entire session. Almost bottling that chicane there, getting on the grass, but luckily we are still up on our time. And coming down towards the final chicane now. We just have to absolutely launch it over the first curb. Even on strict rules, you can do that. So here we go. Launch it over. We gain a heap of time on our last time we did. And we're going to come across the line right now. What is it going to be?
Good work.
He's done it!
Get in there, Lewis. P2. Best of the season so far. Also, for some reason, Valtteri Bottas's first time got completely invalidated. No idea why, but we don't need to talk about that. Despite the AI, from what I remember, being pretty potent around this track, we seem to have electric pace on our default setup. So let's see if we can try and win the race tomorrow. It's time for the unofficial Canadian Grand Prix.
You're above where we expected on the grid. Be careful not to lose places, as there will be faster cars around you.
Cheers, Jeff, but why the lack of faith? We're gonna win it. We're gonna win, fella. Here we go on the grid. 2 lights, 3 lights out, and away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's a decent start up against Lewis Hamilton, but he pulls ahead, and there's no point trying to dive because it would never work, and so we have to settle for second into the first corner. A bit less hectic than the usual starts that we have. However, that's absolutely fine. I can take a break for once, so that's no problem at all. However, now it's time to try and keep up with Hamilton. And as you can see, he's rocketed off into Narnia somehow. I don't really know how that's happened, considering we were only, we were under a 10th off him in qualifying. And now he's, look at him. Look at, what is that traction? What? Codemasters, you have some explaining to do. Worse news than that, though, is Bottas is all over the back of us now, pulling out to the outside of this chicane here, but we squeeze him out. Just about do it without sliding the car out. We remain in P2, but oh god. On to the end of the lap then. Hamilton is already over a second ahead, and it's going to be a really long race. So I don't really know what's happened, because in qualifying we were literally on his backside, and now we've got HMS Porridge all over us, trying to go down. He's going down the inside into the hairpin, the mad lad. We get a wheel on the grass. We're all over the shop already, oh my word, but we keep P2, but he's going to have slipstream into the final chicane. It's just not, it's not going very well right now, ladies and gents. Luckily, this chicane is our happy hunting ground. We can just launch it over like a missile. Bottas trying to go round the outside, but we kindly slap that door into his grubby face, and we remain in P2. Hamilton with the fastest lap of 1:11. Can we match that? Oh, we're so screwed! On to lap 4 then, and based on my many years experience of F1 games on this channel, by which I have 2, I can already tell that this is going to be one hell of a long race, because for some reason, our race pace is absolutely diabolical. There's no other word for it. It's horse all over the floor. Valtteri Bottas has now got DRS on us, and he's going to try and sweep clean past. Goodbye, old friend, it seems, but no! Down the inside into the chicane. Last redemption. Slam that door in his face once again. He's fighting with Vettel, and we keep our P2 position, which is fantastic. However, you've guessed it, it's not going to last that long, because here comes Bottas again. This straight seems to be our kryptonite. It's absolutely awful. We touch him for some reason. That sounds pretty weird out of context. Please don't ever take that out of context, oh god. Luckily, we don't have any damage from the ensuing contact. We remain in P2, at least for another lap, until Bottas is all over the back of us once again, and I CBA to even bother anymore. Why am I even trying? Another lap. Another opportunity for Bottas to gobble us up like a hungry turkey. hogging our slipstream like there is no tomorrow. Once again, pulling out to the outside. We brake late as we dare. Once again, slam that chicane door in his face, and that is beautiful. But there is a yellow flag behind, and Lando Norris is out. I can't even fathom what is happening at this Canadian Grand. He's out. He's out of the session. For God's sakes. My excuse, his game must have crashed. However, there's no time for excuses like that. This lap is our pit lap. And I think Bottas and Co are following us in. Into the pits we go. And out of the pits we go. Fantastic work from the McLaren boys. We have actually quite a substantial gap for now to Bottas behind. And luckily, up ahead is a Williams. So hopefully we can get a bit of a blockade between us and the cars behind. So hopefully our medium tyres can get to work nice and sharpish. And then we don't have to worry about being overtaken. However, when that corner clearly seems to be the AI's happy place, there is nothing I can do. Bottas once again with DRS. He's going to catch up at a rate of knots. Dive to the inside unexpectedly. We basically clout him slightly, but that's his fault. He's an absolute bellend. And as we come on to the next lap, in fact, it gets even worse. Because there is Charles Leclerc, and there is me battering into him to try and get him out of the way. It doesn't work. The Schumacher technique has failed, and he is in fact ahead of us. That has gone horribly, horribly wrong, and now we have it all to do. So, into AI corner, hope is looking. We've lost DRS as well. I can't be arsed anymore. What is going on? Robert Kubica, you are a blessing. HMS Sensodyne doing absolute wonders for us. And now it's time to overtake the Scarlet Red Ferrari round the outside at the hairpin, if we feel so daring. And we do. So round the outside, we do go. That is scintillating stuff. Hopefully we can keep the position. However, not only are we low on fuel, Leclerc's got the Ferrari power unit, we haven't got DRS, and much ERS to play with, which I still hadn't noticed up to this point. So he tries to go outside at the chicane. It's a very feeble attempt. We shut that door on his face. Russell up next. Let's get him. Not a matter of corners later, and we are right up on the back of Russell. As it is with a car of his stature, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, regardless of how shit his car might be, down the inside we go into AI corner, and that is P7, putting a blockade between us and the cars behind, of which Valtteri Bottas, I think, has overtaken Leclerc. However, Russell pit. So we don't have that blockade anymore, and now we have to try and overtake Albon on a straight, without DRS, with low ERS. It's not going very well, in other words. However, luckily for us, DRS comes back. The second coming of Christ has happened, and we are now back in the game. Now we can fight. We are going to be in our rightful P2 as cars have pit. And on to lap number 12. We are... Bottas has set the fastest lap. Oh, we are in trouble. Next lap, here's the script. As per, Bottas tries to overtake into the chicane. We brake late and slam the door on his face. That's very nice. We then try to not bottle the exit too much and try and pull away as much as we can. However, coming into the hairpin, we realise our ERS is quite low. And so we are in a bit of trouble as we don't take that line very well. Our acceleration isn't good enough to warrant us staying ahead for much longer. And Bottas is going to have DRS on us all the way down this straight, which might not seem like much, but with a Mercedes power unit like his, it's basically impossible. So he's miles ahead here. He's in fact got ahead. I haven't even bothered to try because I'm just going to hog his slipstream. We are very good through that chicane, and we are just going to keep in that slipstream and hopefully dive it down the inside. We keep up. Big dive. Rick Bobby would be immensely proud. Back into P2. Raikkonen setting the fastest lap. It's all kicking off here, guys. But let's check the script quickly. Oh, yeah. Rinse and repeat for the next 5 laps. Okay, that sounds pretty good. And we begin with Bottas the pleb once again, hogging the slipstream. DRS on this AI straight and corner combination. We squeeze him out. We take... Look, Esports. East Canada Esports. And then towards the chicane once again. He tries to overtake. Not today, bitch. Absolutely door slammed. And he's even in the clutches now of Mr. Charles Leclerc behind, which is beautiful stuff. And we can try and scamper. Hamilton's 12 seconds ahead. What on earth is going on in this race? Bottas, you want to try and come past, mate?
No.
Not a chance, mate. We're going to block you off again. Just like we've done for the past 16 years in this race. And then we go down to the hairpin once again. Braking at the 100-meter board. Leclerc's past Bottas. Oh, Lord. Now, that could be a spanner in the works. Because we know exactly how legal that Ferrari power unit it really is. And so, with that knowledge in mind, he's going to be going down the straight like a cheetah on acid. So he's so far back, but oh no, he's not. There he goes towards the outside. Once again, shut the door. Fantastic work. He's under threat from Bottas, and we've just got to keep doing this for the rest of the time. Now, Bottas trying to get past, bulldoze him out of the way. And at the chicane, he's not even close enough, so we retain our rightful P2 going on to the last lap of the longest race it felt like I have had to do. Even longer than Monaco, where we had an ailing engine and were defending, because honestly, it's been stress trying to keep them behind, and they have one last hurrah to try and get rid of our best result of the season down this main straight, coming up towards the finish line. Hamilton has already won the race, so that is quite something. Bottas to the outside for the final time. He's even passed, but we brake late, hold it through. It's going to be our best result of the season. Thank God, P2. Yes!
Yes, 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 we're on the podium. Good job this weekend, great drive, thank you.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Get in there, Lewis. Miracles do happen, mate.
So Mercedes win again. We shan't talk about that. For us though, P2. Best result of the season. Best result for McLaren in basically 500 years. Which is fantastic. Hopefully we can get the win soon. Not a lot more to say.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
Well, Claire, I think, well, the upwards trend from our team has been quite obvious in recent times, and I can't see that stopping anytime soon.
You left a lot of paint on the wall.
And that's the end of the interview, you complete utter arse flap. Onto the rivalry screen, and you know the rest. Looking at the resource points screen now, let's see how much Mueller we have got to play with. The answer is, it's 1,235 resource points. All the teams love us. Life is good.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
First upgrade, let's get it, yes. Second, yes. Great stuff. And finally, onto the standings to round off this Canadian Grand Prix. We are 5th place in the standings, ahead of both Red Bulls. McLaren 4th in the Constructors by a country mile, catching up, but partially because Lando isn't scoring that much. Wasn't his fault this race, though, I will admit. However, I don't see any reason why that can't happen at the French Grand Prix. And with that, bonjour France. But before we truly say bonjour, comment t'appelles, well, we know it's called France. That's a bit of a stupid question, isn't it? I would have shown you the R&D screen. However, it looked like this. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. All you need to know, essentially, is that we've jumped Red Bull and Ferrari. We're now the 2nd quickest car. Let's go and smash France. Qualifying time for the French Grand Prix. As you can see, Lando Norris doing quite well. Verstappen doing slightly better. But that's a promising start. And so, hopefully, we can follow suit here in our upgraded McLaren. 2nd place on the grid. Coming up to turn 1. Braking between these two curbs, and you want to take as much of this first curb as possible, knocking over the bollard a bit. However, we don't need to mention that one little bit. We're going to come down towards this chicane. You're going to want to take as much curb on this as you can. We miss it a bit. However, it is just our first qualifying run, and there is always going to be improvement to find. Towards the line we go, and it is going to be hopefully very beautiful. What is it going to be as we cross the line? It is P9. Oh. Oh dear. Oh my god, look at the last sectors. What the f***? So it turns out if we're going to want to fight for pole at this circuit, we're going to have to pull the last sector out of our arsehole. So that's beautiful. Through these first 2 corners then, we're not up on our time. That's a bit annoying. However, towards this next chicane, how are we going to do? We're going to lock up. Also very annoying. What is going on? However, as we skip forward, it seems like our fortune isn't so bad as we have the best first sector of anyone in the grid. So that's good, but our second sector isn't that great. So our last sector has to be something very, very special. Going through 4th gear through this left-hander, hopefully not going off the track. As we go off the track, very cool, Karl. However, luckily, we are still a 10th up on our time. Through this left-hander, you want to brake and turn at the same time and hopefully not turn the wheel too much like I'm doing there. Felt like there was a ton of understeer in the car. However, there's nothing we can do about that now. We're going to come across the line right about now. What is it going to be? So after a defeat that crushing, I just have to check the sector times. And that is Norris's last sector, and that is mine. Jesus on a bicycle. What is happening? So, it's a travesty. It's P9. Norris, P5. We are over a second off the AI. In fact, our first 2 sectors were only half a tenth off. This last sector, we lose a second to the Mercedes, which is just completely ridiculous. And so, from our grid position, we're going to have to fight very hard because the AI around here are ridiculous. Let's see what we can do. It is time for the Croissant Grand Prix.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
No messing around, lights out, away we go, French Grand Prix. Start was okay at first, travesty at the end. The AI have a traction of a speeding bull on the heat. And so, the Butler's actually going to pass us into turn 1. It's that embarrassing. We're down to P10. We're actually down to P10. That is shocking work. That's not in the script at all. And so, with our anger at boiling point, round the outside of Butler we go. That is a scintillating move. We even toy with the idea of trying to get ahead of Gasly. But we do think better of it, or do we, round the outside? Yes, we do think better of it. We slide about like an out-of-control snake. But onto the straight we go, and it's the job of getting slipstream, or not in my case. We are about a mile back already. It's not very good. Butler is trying to catch up, and it's going to be probably another long race. So it's imperative, therefore, Butler doesn't get ahead of us into the chicane, and as you can see, he doesn't. So hopefully now it's time to use that slipstream up ahead and keep up with the back ahead, which we do. And a Karl's top tip here. The AI don't like using ERS on this straight here, the start-finish straight, and so we are in the slipstream of Gasly, and despite thinking this is going to be a long race, maybe not, as we are actually going to make up a place. Gasly locks up, bottling it like he did when he was actually at Red Bull, and that is P8. Not a bad start. Let's try and keep this up. Bit more forwards onto lap 2, and by keeping up, we didn't keep up very well. So now we've just got to defend from Gasly, but Norris is getting overtaken by Verstappen. He's going to be down in P7. Perez has done a number on both of them and got 5th, but Norris is now in our clutches, so that's shocking. What on earth's happened to him? KarlsCars log, lap 3. Norris and co are over a second ahead. We haven't got DRS off them. Gasly is well within range of DRS. Oh my god, this is going to be absolutely filthy. We defend to the inside. He opts to the outside straight away. Doesn't try and squeeze his way through. However, we put up a robust defense right now. Squeeze him as much as you like. Very, very good. And that is us keeping P8. And it's time for a bit of a strategy ploy, guys. The undercut merchant is going to come out once again on lap 4. Boxing on lap number 4. Our provisional pit stop was actually lap number 5. However, the mediums can easily get to the end, no matter if we pit on lap 3, lap 4, whatever it may be. So that is exactly what we're going to do. We are going to come into the pits, put on the mediums, and just try and send our way up the field. In we go. Let's see how the crew does. Well, we're halfway around the lap already. So that's an immediate 11 out of 10 from me. So the situation now is Kubica isn't actually that far ahead, but hopefully with this undercut here, I mean, the AI are pretty damn overpowered around this track, but hopefully, with any luck, we should be ahead of a couple of people. One of them, Max Verstappen. We've undercut Verstappen, which is fantastic, and there is Perez in the distance who was ahead of him. So hopefully, we can get ahead of him very, very soon. I must say, this undercut is working pretty damn well. 2 personal best sectors. Perez on the ropes, and we are right on the back of him as we come through these last couple of corners. Using first gear on the right-hander to get a bit more rotation, second gear to get the traction, power down, DRS, ERS, wide open, and through we go. Same as what we did to Gasly. We're through before we even reached the corner, in fact, and so that is P10, provisionally P6 currently. That is absolutely corking stuff. Lap number 8, a couple of other cars have come into the pits, so we are currently P8, hopefully trying to catch up to Vettel and Bottas up ahead. That doesn't seem likely, but HMS Sensodyne's out to play once again. Robert Kubica holding them up a treat, and as a result, we are right on the back of Vettel, and we're going to go round the outside of Kubica into this right-hander, flowing onto the straight, scintillating stuff. And we have DRS, and we're not nearly close enough to make the move on the Ferrari, so we're just going to save some battery, cool it down, be tactical. We should get him soon. Lap number 9, same point. Luckily, we do have DRS, and the 2 remedials up ahead are fighting away like there's no tomorrow. I also forgot to mention Norris has had a shocker because he's all the way back in something like P8 or 9. So I have no idea what's happened to him, but Bottas and Vettel fighting tooth and nail for that final podium spot provisionally until that Haas car, I think, up ahead pits for his one and only pit stop, and for now it is Bottas that takes supremacy. However, through the last corners, once again, our happy place, it turns out. AI don't really like this exit or using ERS on this straight, and that is what we love doing. The yellow flag zone up ahead as well, so we better get this done. Vettel vulnerable as hell, and we've done it up into P3 out of seemingly nowhere in this race, and I'm confident we could even get Bottas, so let's give it a try. So situation update, Leclerc somehow swagged his way into first place out of nowhere. Then it's Bottas, myself, dropping back a little bit, however keeping up just enough to keep in DRS range. And then Vettel hot on my heels. However, lap number 11 we are on now, closing up to Bottas a bit. Oh, he locks up into the left-hander, and we are all over him. We lock up ourselves. It's just disgusting. However, something sick in a good way is the fact Bottas is going to get absolutely munched up by us out of nowhere. Down the inside into the fast right-hander. I didn't know if he was going to let me have the room, but that's it. P2, as long as we keep it through the right-hander. He tries to go around the outside, and we go a bit deep, so he tries to go for the inside, but it's not enough. We have P2 in this race. We could chase down the leader here. Charles Leclerc's not too far ahead. Maybe we have the pace. Can we catch him? Can we keep Bottas at bay? It's all gonna be... And then during the next 2 laps, absolutely nothing happened at all. And so, last lap, last sector, and I must say, I am very happy with this P2. Canada was a bit feeble, I'll be honest with you. I just defended hard the whole race. However, this one, I really did have to work for it. I had to fight my way through, carve my way through like a butter knife. Leclerc's about the same distance away he was earlier, actually, but we just haven't been able to catch up. But from qualifying 9th, we have somehow done an absolute job. It's going to be P2. What a race.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
And so there we are. What a race from us. P9 to P2 on the grid. Fantastic. Undercut of dreams. Norris getting P8 in the end. Not too bad, but I'm so shocked that he just didn't have the pace in the race. Felt like us in Canada, really. A tale of 2 races for us, but a very good one here in France.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
To be honest, I thought it was going to be a lot more of a struggle than it was. However, pleasantly surprised, car was absolutely scintillating out there. Love that.
It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season.
Well, Claire, my motto is simply, never give up.
Appreciate your time.
So an actually good interview later, rivalry squeen once again, and the squeen tells it all. Mueller time, let's see how much we have got. We passed our team goal once again. It was very nice, but we'll show that in a bit. It is a grand total now of 1,444 resource points with the lovely team goal of just 6 practice programs in 2 weekends. All the teams love us. You know the rest.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
Cheers, Jeff. Right. Well, I think that needs some serious amendments right away. Oh. Well, shit. So after fiddling with the contract a little bit, the team finally come to their senses, and it's a success. However, I do have one question. Why the f***, if I've been scoring the most points for the team, do I have to be the second driver? What a joke. Upgrades-wise, after playing rock, paper, scissors with my girlfriend as to what upgrades I should get, I'm not even joking, we actually did this. And I won. It was a mutual agreement for 2 minor upgrades. Firstly, power, very nicely done. And the second upgrade, here it goes. Bang. Nice. And that will wrap up the French Grand Prix weekend. 4th in the standings in the drivers anyway, ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Very epic. And the same in the constructors by an absolute country mile. Norris getting some good points for the team at the French Grand Prix. We seemed a bit inconsistent during these weekends. Canada was a tale of an excellent qualifying and a dodgy race, and it was the opposite in France. But next episode being Britain, hopefully we can bring back that first place with the development rate we're on and be very, very lethal. Thank you all very much for watching part 6 of the F1 2019 career mode. If you did enjoy it, slap a like on the video, smash subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a single one of my uploads, and it would also mean a great deal if you did. I also have social medias. My Twitter and my Instagram are at KarlsCarsYT. Links are down in the description below. Give them a follow. I post there quite regularly, and believe me when I say it is very, very good fun. Until the next video, whatever that video may be, thank you all ever so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you very soon.